The 2022 MLB regular season is in the books, and it is time for the postseason as the 2022 MLB season is now in playoff mode. Johnny Talk Sports here to give you my MLB postseason predictions for the year 2022. So let's fill out my 2022 MLB postseason bracket. Now, I didn't watch much MLB this season, which I usually don't. I usually watch maybe the first month or so, and then I tune out until maybe just a little bit after the All-Star break. Then I look at the trade deadline, and then I kind of check out after that once football season starts. But I'm always into the postseason. I am always, always intrigued by the playoffs, as that is when baseball gets really exciting. But I also didn't watch much baseball last year either, and I almost fit out the perfect bracket. If I would have just stuck with my preseason prediction and picked the Braves to win the World Series instead of the Dodgers, I would have had the perfect bracket. But it's a new year. Hopefully, I can redeem myself. So let's get right into it. The American League wild card, the Blue Jays and the Mariners. The Mariners ended their postseason drought by making the playoffs. And I will be honest, I really want them to win. It would be a feel-good story, and I am a big fan of feel-good stories. The Blue Jays were a team that, in a way, flew under the radar this season, but I fully expected them to be in the playoffs at least. And I think this series is going to easily go to 3 games, as the wild card is best 2 out of 3, the ALDS is best of 5, ALCS World Series best of 7. But I'm going to go with the Blue Jays in 3, although I would not be surprised the Mariners won, but I got to go with the Blue Jays. Guardians and the Rays. Now, the Rays were my preseason World Series pick. In fact, the Rays Cardinals was my preseason World Series matchup. And the Rays, they have been up and down all season long. The Guardians, they were more consistent than the Rays. But I think this series is going to come down to pitching. I mean, even though the Guardians, you can argue they have the better pitching staff, I just think the Rays are more built for the postseason. So I'm going with Tampa Bay. Mets and the Padres. I think this series goes either way. The Mets had a 10.5 game lead in the NL East over the Braves, and they blew it once again. This is the second year in a row. The Mets had a lead in the NL East, and they blew it. While the Padres, they got devastating news that Fernando Tatis would be suspended 80 games for using PEDs, but the Padres still found their way in the playoffs. And I just like what the Mets did in the offseason. The Mets, I feel like, had the best offseason by bringing in Max Scherzer, bringing in Francisco Lindor. And Jacob deGrom is back for the Mets as he missed the first 3 months of the year. So I'm going to go with the Mets. Cardinals and the Phillies. The Phillies also ended their postseason drought like the Mariners. While the Cardinals, it's the last ride for Adam Wainwright, Yadier Molina, and Albert Pujols. And I think the Cardinals, they're going to go out with a bang. I am going to somewhat pick the upset here because the Phillies, you can argue that they have the better lineup. But despite the Cardinals not making too deep of runs in the postseason lately, at least they made a run back in, I believe it was 2018 or 2019. So it's been a few years. But in the Cardinals, they advanced take on the Braves. Now we have the final 8. The ALDS now, Astros, Blue Jays, Rays and Yankees. In the NLDS, Dodgers, Mets, Cardinals, Braves. Now, Astros and the Blue Jays. I'm going to go with the Astros. I just think when you look at this Astros lineup, it is probably the best in all of baseball, especially with the pitching. Rays and the Yankees, we usually see the Yankees. In fact, we have seen the Yankees crumble in the postseason time and time again, but I don't think it happens here. As much as I want to see the Rays win and make my preseason prediction correct, I don't think it happens. I think the Yankees move on. Dodgers and the Mets. Now, this is going to get very interesting. I think this series goes to all 5 games. I think the Mets, I think they're going to be able to hang in there. But in the end, I'm giving a slight edge to the Dodgers. Cardinals and the Braves. I'm having a really tough time deciding who to pick here, because I think this series also has the potential of going to 5. Because I know the Cardinals, they're going to be able to hang in there. But I got to go with the Braves. And they are the reigning champs, and they've shown that they can win the World Series. They know, I mean, a few of the players in the Cardinals have as well, but it has been a while. And I think the run of Wainwright, Molina, and Pujols end here if the Braves advance. So the ALCS, Astros, and the Yankees. And this is where I think we see the Yankees crumble once again in the postseason. I had the Astros advancing to the World Series. Dodgers and the Braves for the NLCS. The Braves may be the defending champs, but a few of their difference makers, quite a few difference makers from the World Series run last year, are no longer on the Braves. Jock Peterson, Jorge Soler, and Freddie Freeman isn't there either. In fact, Freddie Freeman is on the Dodgers. And I think with that, the fact that the difference makers for the Braves in the postseason from last year aren't there anymore, and Ronald Acuna Jr. is back, but the Braves would not have been as aggressive as they were at the trade deadline if Acuna Jr. never got hurt. In fact, I will say this, if Ronald Acuna Jr. never got hurt, I don't think the Braves even made the World Series last year. So I'm going to go with the Dodgers. And the 2022 World Series matchup, Astros and the Dodgers. I'm sure this is going to be a very popular matchup here. In fact, if I watch 100 of these postseason prediction videos, I'd say about maybe 95 of them will have this matchup, because really these two teams, they are the most consistent in the league, as they are the one seeds for a reason. When you look at the rosters, these are the 2 best teams from top to bottom. And winning the World Series, I think, in 7 games, the Houston Astros. I think the Astros redeemed themselves from losing the World Series last year. And that will do it for my MLB postseason bracket. Comment your predictions down below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, have a great day. Enjoy the MLB postseason. It's going to be fun as always. Take care.